I was just listening to a podcast on YouTube, and they were going over some interesting information. They were talking about the trial that's underway for January 6th. They were talking about a few things, but we're going to start with the trial for January 6th. They were saying that a lot of progress has been made, and they're going to start charging people, the people at the top, the ones who fundraised and orchestrated and organized the mobility of these insurrectionists. I wouldn't even call them insurrectionists. They were treasonous, racist, white supremacist, insurrectionist. I don't know. They were just talking about how they're just now getting into the financial records of who helped fundraise and who helped buy the plane tickets and the buses. And I don't have any faith in any of that. I don't think anything's going to come of that. They are not going to start locking up white people, because at the rate they would have to lock them up, they would have to build more jails. They'd have to let brown and black people out of jails for Class C misdemeanors and missing court dates that they may or may not have known that they even had. They would have to let so many people, brown people, out of jail, and they would have to start locking up so many white people. They're not going to do that. The white power structure dictates that that never happens. And it will never happen. They're not going to start locking people up in droves. They might send a couple of white people to jail for 6 months. Because if you apply for short-term disability, a lot of jobs will allow you to take 6 months off because you're disabled, and you can come back and keep your job. They have it set up so that these people aren't going to lose their houses. They're not going to default on their mortgages. There's not going to be 30,000 homeless white people because of January 6th. They're literally strategically targeting 20 people. And they're saying that these are the orchestrators, but we're not going to target the other people. Why? It should be filed under the Rico-act. Everyone involved goes to jail. It's ironic that they have this act called the Rico-act used to target organized crime members of the Latino population from the 60s and 70s and 80s who were helping traffic narcotics by way of CIA into America to perpetrate the crack epidemic and the cocaine, I won't call it revolution, but epidemic. And they called this act the Rico Act. Because, like Latinos, Rico, Pablo, Rico, Suñez. Like, I don't know, just call it any random Latino name. I just find that amusing. The system of justice is literally a system of corruption. And when white Americans start talking about, we need to bring democracy to these brown countries, we got to share our democracy. You see what democracy means to white people. It means nothing. As long as it doesn't serve their interests, it means nothing. And a lot of these countries have their own system of democracy, and white establishment, tip of the spear white Americans actively go out of their way to topple those regimes and governments and install puppeteers who are sympathetic to white ideology, white American-leaning ideology. They go over there and they assassinate and they lead in coups, and then they put in places, they put into high tier positions people who will allow American organizations and companies to go over there and mine their gold and mine their oil. And of course the guys at the top will make a lot, but in those contracts, inevitably you're not allowed to share any of that wealth, and it's like a banana republic. I am not polished enough on this, but I do know way more than I am able to give in a 4-minute video. I'm just gonna have to make a shit ton of videos. I'm just gonna have to make a lot of videos. See what I did there? I'm planning on editing that out, and this. I'm not gonna edit anything. I'll just look unpolished. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Did it again. Yeah, so we're literally trying to export democracy, whatever that means. And I know what it means. I'm not supposed to say this. This is why the algorithm targets people like me. We're exporting white supremacy and corporatism, and we're not exporting anything other than death. And when I say we, I mean the royal we. Black people and brown people aren't the ones doing this to the extent that it would matter. They'll have a token black or brown person who works alongside white supremacy to show that even if you work hard, you can be a part of this too. And what is this that we're fighting to be a part of? Seriously, what is this that we're fighting to be a part of? You open your eyes, sometimes you can't get back to sleep. Sometimes you just gotta wait it out. You don't gotta go to work for another 5 hours, but your ass is awake.